Good afternoon. Doing a quick job today here in my hometown of Mayo, Michigan. So it's a one hunting blind, 2 lanes, and then clear out a little path that goes up about, I don't know, about 150 yards. Should be a real quick little job, get it done real fast. It's supposed to start raining here pretty soon, so try to hurry up and get down there. It's pretty typical this time of year, like I said in my other videos. Hunting blinds, you know, it's deer season now, it's bow season right now, and everyone is getting ready for rifle season, and they want their shooting lanes opened up for the rifle. Bow season, they really don't need really long shooting lanes, I guess, but yeah, that is part of it. So on the way back up, I'm gonna widen all this out, make it a little wider for this guy. Coming up on the hunting blind now. It's pretty open down here, but there's one lane that he's shot a few deer on in the past, and right now it's a little congested with some small trees, and then there's like a little hill on the other side of the tree, so he wants all that area cleared up so that, you know, you can have a nice straight shot view from the hunting blind up here on the hill. So I'll get the blade spinning here, and I'll get in line. What I usually do is I get in line with the actual blind, so the actual shooting lane, which is about right here. Start opening it up from here. Been doing a lot of these hunting lane, shooting lanes and all that lately. Pretty typical for this time of year. All these branches and stuff. Top of the tree right here. trouble getting through it. Do a little circle up here and kind of mow this top area off. Just some of the grass is not too high, but it's tall enough. I'm just gonna try not to get stuck. To be fairly flat up here, but you never know, there could be a hole right in front of you. It'd be kind of expensive to get another tractor up here to pull me out of a hole, that's for sure. Circles up here, trim out the top, a little lawn mowing action, something that, you know, somebody with a brush hog could do, but maintain this at least with a brush hog. But since I'm up here doing this, I'll go ahead and do it for them. I just want the top of this hill exposed a little bit, you know, nothing too drastic. It would be a good spot to put a deer plot, feed plot. It seems fairly flat enough to make a deer plot, a feed plot up here. For those of you that watch this channel, winter time is coming, and since I'm retired, I probably won't be doing this for a few months during the winter. I also do oil painting, you know, artwork, so if you guys are interested in that, you know, let me know in the comments. I could put some of that stuff on my channel here on YouTube. If not, then, you know, just my channel will be on pause for a few months. And people that live up north, they kind of understand that. I will be doing some work, but not as much as I do now. It'll be more like a case-by-case basis. With the snow covering the ground, I can't really see what's under there, and I can take down small trees and stuff, but anything on the ground I can't really mess with, because I don't know, you know, if there's a big hole there or a rock or whatever. stuck in, get one of these machines stuck in the snow, and you're in a world of hurt. That machine could sit there all year, and I don't want to do that. And I've been stuck a few times, so you know it's more than possible to happen, and I definitely don't want it to happen. That's for sure. I don't want to end up stuck in the snow and have to rent a big excavator to go in there and get it out. It would really just ruin my whole day. So just depends on how much snow Michigan gets this year. Last year there was some parts of Michigan that had over 10 feet of snow on the ground, and you know, with that kind of conditions, you know, you're not going to be taking these tractors in that deep of snow. There's no way. So just like I said, it would just be a case by case basis. But since this is a retirement job for me, I don't need to do this to make a living, so I'm not going to take the risk and, you know, take $150,000 worth of machinery and, you know, risk getting in there and getting it stuck somewhere. It's not worth it. I really wanted to hurry up and get in here before it starts raining, because when you're doing like grass trimming like this in the rain, it gets all over the machine and windshield, and it's trying to see it's impossible. So I looked at the weather forecast when I came to this job this morning. He called me this morning, and I called him back, and these people live literally right down the street from me. So I told him, I said I can do it today. I had a job cancellation today, so I was open for today, and I said I can come do it right now. And then I looked at the weather, and it's supposed to rain in about an hour. So I thought, well, I better get up here and get all this grass trimmed down at least, because yeah, it'd be a mess. Like doing mowing. It's not very it's kind of an overkill to do it with a mulcher. But you definitely don't run into anything that you can't mow down with a mulcher. If you had a heavy duty brush hog, you could do up to like 4-inch material with a brush hog. But I just can't really justify buying one. I haven't really had a situation where a brush hog would have been better than what I already have. So, you know, yeah, it'd be a nice little toy to have, but it's also the heavy-duty brush hogs, well, at least for Kubota, they're probably about 12 grand. If you don't want to buy the cheap Chinese ones that everyone's trying to use, I would need a more heavy-duty one with a warranty and all that. For the business, at least, you know, I don't want to have a bunch of cheap stuff for my business, cheap equipment. I have a couple of Chinese fittings, like the front hoe that I have. That's a Chinese front hoe, and I've only used it a few times, and I've already had to replace all of the cotter pins and safety pins and everything on it. It doesn't have any Zerk fittings, so one of these days I got to pull all that stuff apart again and drill out and install Zerk fittings, because yeah, that's crazy, right? You can't grease it up. So, and but you know, I saved about $1,000 buying a Chinese one. It's a mistake. I won't do it again. I have my eyes on a tiller, a front tiller for this, and yeah, you can get the Chinese ones for about $2,500, but the one that Kubota makes is about $6,500, and it is really nice. And so I'm going to be buying that next year. It's going to be my first purchase of the year for this upgrade. And even though I have a Harley rake, the tiller will be a lot better to process soil for if somebody hires me to do a feed plot. The Harley rake can do it, but the Harley rake only goes down about 4 inches in the ground, and the tiller will do up to, I think the Kubota one does up to 12 inches maybe, 10 inches, 12 inches, and then it will also, you know, basically mulch in all this material into the dirt, the soil. The Harley rake won't really do it that well. Harley rake's designed to level and flatten, so it end up pushing everything aside instead of you know, processing it for a deer plot. The Harley rake is pretty versatile, but it does have its uses, you know, and mostly it's used for road reconditioning for gravel roads, and also like if you have a you know, like a feed plot and there's like a lot of rocks and stuff in it, and you end up hitting a bunch of rocks when you're running your PTO tractor or tiller through it or whatever. The Harley rake can go through there and push all those rocks out, get rid of the rocks at least that are in the, you know, top 3 inches, 4 inches of the ground. It's really good for that. So it has its purposes. If anybody has any pointers or ideas, or if you own a nice tiller, you know, feel free to leave a comment. It's already probably 5 or 6 minutes into the video, and that's about the average click time. People like click on my channel and they watch a video for about 5 minutes and move on. Only about 10% of the people watching these videos will actually hear me talking right now, which is fine. That's cool. I go through videos sometimes, and you know, I end up only watching a few minutes of it if it doesn't suit my purposes, but especially when the camera moves like that. Sometimes. Let me restart. A lot of my videos I end up time-lapsing because you know, I'm on these jobs, some of these, I'm on them for almost 10 hours, and it's, you know, you really can't have a 10-hour long video of just this. I mean, it would be senseless really, but I get a lot of mixed reviews for time-lapsing, and I usually only go twice the speed. A lot of times when I'm in the forest, I'm going really slow when I'm mulching because I got to watch the ground and rocks and stumps and all that stuff. So when I put it on twice the speed, it basically goes like about as fast as I'm going now, which basically looks normal, but normally my normal speed in the forest is really slow, and just trying to be cautious. I mean, you never know what you're gonna be running over. You really don't want to run over rocks and stuff, so before I came up on top of this mountain. And if I was going fast and hit that ditch, it would jar this tractor really bad, probably throw my back out again. So it's better to take it slow, and sometimes slower is faster. done. I'm gonna go do about a 100 yard trail, maybe 150 yards. Just gonna widen it up. It's a little overgrown with sapling trees. Try to justify having, hiring someone to do this kind of work. I could go through a tree like this in, 30 seconds, or if you were cutting it by hand, it'd probably take you 20 minutes to cut it down and chop all this stuff up and move it around and just pile it, burn it, do whatever you want. But with the mulcher, it's just gone. And on top of that, I can just keep going. So yeah, someone can come in and do this by hand, but it's a lot of work. Take these pines out. I'm just gonna go through and trim them. Take out these little ones. Taking a vehicle through here, just a quad. Doesn't need to be too wide, just needs to be clear. You want to be able to ride your quad through here without, limbs and stuff running up all over. Starting to pick up, so that storm's coming in. Trying to finish before it hits. Should be here in the next 20 minutes. check the work. There's the hunting blind. As you can see, it's up on a hill. It's a great spot. It's got real good coverage of the area. And there's a lot of deer out here. I've already seen like 3 deer just from earlier when I came out to give an estimate on the job. This is the first window. And before there was you can see the little area right here. All that was trees, and you could barely see the top of that hill. The hill right up there, which is where I trimmed all the grass. And you can kind of see there's a couple of deer trails going through here. And then on this other side over here is where I just widened that trail just now. So now they have full access to that hill. It's nice and clear. It'll be like that for a good 8 years, 10 years. Won't have to do this again for a while. Maybe brush hog the grass when it grows back. But yeah, that's a real quick little 1-hour job. I do charge a minimum, but I think I'm gonna shorten the cost for these people. It's just a real quick little job. I don't mind doing them. It means a lot to these people, but you know, there's a lot of people up here in northern Michigan that won't do these little jobs because they, you know, make very much money on them. And yeah, so anyways, now I'm gonna go back up this trail here and widen a few parts of it that are a little overgrown, and then we'll be done. So stay tuned. All right, now we're gonna go back up the hill here. It's really hard to tell on these videos, but this is a pretty steep hill. But so we're gonna go back up this hill, and just at the top of the hill, it's kind of, there's a couple of spots that are narrowing out, so I'm just gonna widen it up a little bit so that it's not so narrow, and then we'll be done with this job. With the machine running, I think it was maybe an hour total. Just a quick little job. I had a full day job planned today, but it got canceled for whatever reason. Maybe hopefully they'll reschedule. It happens, you know, quite often. A lot of people up here in northern Michigan, they don't live up here. They have properties and, you know, different schedules and whatever. So not too many jobs get canceled, but they do get canceled. You just have to kind of roll with it, man. You can't let it bother you too much. If I was doing this for a living and needed it for income, it would probably affect me a little more when a job cancels. But as it is, you know, I don't do this for a living. I just do it for a retirement job, a little extra money. It definitely pays for itself, this business, for the most part. Which is really all I wanted, just to make enough money to do some upgrades around the house, and, you know, stuff like that, but keep me busy in retirement. That's it. A little bit of clearing up here towards the house, and then we'll shut the camera off and we'll be done. So thank you for watching this short video, and you guys have a great October.